Welcome to today's edition of How to Simplify Higher Powers and Higher Roots. Before we do higher powers and higher roots, we need to recall how to find the basic square roots, cube roots, squares and cubes before we move on to the higher powers. So say we have something like the square root of 9. We know this is 3. Now we could also write the square root of 9 as 9 to the power half. So this is to the power half, and that is 3 as well. So square root and the power half are the same thing. If I was to say find the cube root of 27, you know the cube root of 27 is 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. This could be written as 27 to the power of a third, and this is the same as that. However, if I was to say what is 3 squared, we know that is 9, and that's why the square root of 9 will be 3. If I ask you what is 3 cubed, we know is 27, and that's because when we do the cube root we get 3. So that's how that first part works. The next part we want to do is something like this. If I was to write 64 and I want the square root, it's gonna be the same thing as 64 to the power half, which means two same numbers I can multiply to get 64, and of course that's 8. However, if I was to find the cube root of 64, as you can see, I could write that as 64 to the power of a third, and that will give me a 4, because 4 times 4 times 4 will give me 64. If I had something like this, 64, and I write 2 thirds, this is the same thing as finding the cube root of 64, but when you find your answer, you square it. So if we know that the cube root of 64 is 4, 4 squared will be 4 times 4, which is 60. So this question here, the answer is 60. Now we can move on to another one. We could say we want something like 81. If we want the square root of 81, we know that is 9. However, if we want this, which is to the power 4, we could write this as 81, and then we'll write to the power of a quarter. This is going to be 3, because 3 to the power 4 will give us 81. However, if I was to say 81 to the power 3/4, this is the same thing as finding that bit there, and then you cube your answer. So if we know that this is going to give us 3, then 3 cubed will be 27. That will be the answer to this bit here. So once we understand this, we'll be able to simplify any power or any root. I hope this helps.